So this is tutorial 10, modifying and importing and modifying graphics. We're going to go ahead, do a file open. Go to our lesson folder. Open up our start file. And we're going to click Don't Update these graphics. We have a little mismatch in color management here. I'm just going to say OK to that. If you have that. This is, of course, Forrest has joined us. I know. She loves page layout. Anyhow, you can look at the end document if you want to see how that looks when it's finished. But we're going to do a save as and call it 10 CD insert. Okay, so one of the things that goes on here is all images, external things that we place into InDesign are linked to InDesign. So once they're in InDesign, they don't really belong to InDesign. So you have to understand that. These files are linked externally and are sitting in folders outside of the program. That means if we don't have those folders outside of the program, we're going to be missing stuff. So anything that you put into InDesign, unlike Photoshop, where everything that comes into Photoshop except for smart objects, right? Smart objects are kind of linked objects externally. I had to think there for a second. Illustrator is the same thing. If you bring in something to Illustrator, it actually understands the directory path. In other words, where is that thing saved, on what file, in what folder? So imagine if, in fact, you save something on your desktop and you put it into InDesign, and the InDesign file you saved in a folder on your desktop. Well, now the graphic that you imported is on the desktop, but InDesign is in a folder on the desktop. So it realizes that outside of the folder that the InDesign file is in exists something in a folder called the desktop, and that relationship is a linked relationship. So it's looking for that file to that place. And if we change that relationship, InDesign doesn't know where it is anymore, because again, InDesign just has like all these holes like here, right? So there's frames where things go in, but once they're in there, they don't belong necessarily to InDesign exclusively. They sort of belong wherever they are located, and that hole gets filled by that either object piece of artwork or that pixel piece of artwork. So it is really important when we place things that we understand that we have to have those things. Just like your type is stored in your fonts folder on your computer. So InDesign doesn't know anything other than that's where the type is located. So it's going to look to that folder. then if we move our InDesign project to another computer, it might not even have that font, and it might not even be in the same kind of relationship to where the InDesign document is. And so directories are linked. Where files are located and where folders are located are important. Okay, so we're supposed to center page 1. Let's move on here. Get my pages palette, make sure I'm on page 1. We can do that by this pop-up menu as well. That's what they're saying. And do Command 0. Command 0. Me go window, workspace. Let's go to essentials, I think. Clear up our workspace a little bit. I'm going to go to Essentials Classic. There we go. And the links panel. And take our selection tool. Select the Songs of the Gardens logo, type and notice that the graphic file name title AI becomes selected in the links panel, and the links panel select notice that it said selected. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's selected. In links panel, select the butterfly on flower PSD. And say go to link. So use this button. And it becomes sort of centered on screen. It's a quick way to find a graphic. In links panel, select the graphics name Milky Way background TIFF. They want us to note that down here. If you don't have it open, you can do the selected item, highly recommended. It gives you a lot of information about the actual pixels per inch and the effective pixels per inch. I've probably told you that those numbers need to be the same. Here it's 150 and 89. So that means that it's actually 150 pixels per inch, but somebody stretched it out to be almost twice as many pixels per inch by enlarging it. That's not advisable because things become very distorted. See how staircased and kind of square edged that type looks. All right, in the links panel, click the select next link in the list button. And it goes to RR logo. And we can go to that link and see it. The Ricky Records logo. There is then these caution signs that are here, meaning that their status means that they were not linked. We didn't say re-link items when we opened up the new file. So we have a bunch of issues. Okay, a faster way to view a link and import information is to customize the information displayed in the links panel column. Open the menu in the links panel column and choose panel options. This is kind of cool, actually. If we go into the links panel and ask for the panel options, we get to customize the kind of things that we want to see. Under show column, click color space. Actual PPI. And effective PPI. Those are pretty three basics that we want to know. What color mode are we in? What is the actual pixels of the object? And then what have we done to it in InDesign? So the effective is the output and what we've done in InDesign. And then transparency, they want us to check too. And then click OK. So now those are things we can see if we stretch it out here rather than down there. We can still see them down there, but they become available in the top. Select the Milky Way background. From links panel menu, choose reveal in Explorer or reveal in Finder. So let's go ahead and go reveal in Finder and see what happens. Sometimes this works great. Okay, so it's taking us right to the image. And they say just go back to InDesign, click on the triangle in the links panel to the left of the title, AI. Note that it's on page 1 and click the go to link button. So we're actually seeing that there's several instances of this same graphic. And we'll go to link. And notice that the modified link is also displayed in the upper left-hand corner of the graphic frame on the page. Okay, click the update link button. So let's click that. The appearance of the image in the document changes to represent a newer version of the modified link icon, no longer displayed in the links panel. I think we're supposed to be on that one. Yeah, they want us the one on page 1. There we go, go to link. And then we're going to go ahead and say, refresh it. Okay. So then we get this white version, which is the newer one that replaces the older one. And the modified is gone, so we don't have that warning anymore. Click the image behind the title, butterfly on flower PSD. So I'm going to click on that. And look in the upper left of the graphics frame where the modified link icon is displayed just as the links, as in the links panel. So let me zoom out a little bit. So there it is, little modified link symbol. And click the modified link icon. And updates that image, and our warning's gone here as well in the links panel. All right, so we're going to replace a link instead. We're going to go to choose fit, spread, and window. So view, fit, spread, and window, command shift or command option, excuse me, 0. And get the selection tool to select the butterfly on flower PSD image on page 1 again. And don't select the content, just select the graphics frame. Click the relink button here. Browse and find the cover, pink flower PSD. So let's go to all right. Then we click a blank area of the pasteboard and save our file. Select the title AI flat file. On page 1. So we want that one. And click the go to link. And then right click the songs of the garden graphic and then choose display performance high quality. Okay, navigate to page 5. And open the layers panel. Click the photos layer. And choose file place or command D. And in the lesson 10 folder, we're going to select the blue hydrangea PSD and click open. Move the loaded raster graphics icon into the pasteboard area just above the page and click once. Open the photos layer and try that again. I think I may have had something selected. So I'm going to make sure I deselect all, Command D, replace, blue hydrangea. All right, there it is. Now it's loaded. So put it on the pasteboard. So we're going to choose the selection tool and hold down Shift Command or Shift Control. That does both the window and the content at the same time. And we're going to go down about 2 inches. So let's pull it down till we see about 2 inches. Of course, we can always swipe it and then punch in too with the aspect ratio locked. That'll do 2 by 2. So what we're going to do is I'm going to command minus till I see where this image is going to go. And to the top of the empty frame to the left. So let's move it over here. Smart Guide should tell us that we're okay. Drag the lower right-hand corner handle and toward the flower so that most of the leaves are no longer visible. So they want us to make this a little bit smaller. Like so. And if we go to content, we'll see that the larger frame, which is the actual frame holding it, is much larger. And we want to center it in the frame. Okay. And I'm going to click this empty frame here and do a Command D, place, and select sunflower. JPEG. And say open. And choose object fitting fit content frame. I wouldn't really advise that. It's actually distorting the image. If we looked at it in the links panel, we'd probably find out that Yeah, it's 150 actual PPI, and then its effective is 815 by 471. So it's being stretched and distorted. So we're going to go object fitting, fit content proportionately. That's going to help somewhat, but it's still, the actual resolution is 150 PPI, and the effective now is 815. So it's smashing a lot of pixels, down into a small space, making the effective resolution extremely high. And this can be problematic when you're printing if your image setter can't figure out how to deal with making those changes. So it would be better to go to Photoshop and resize this. So we're going to go to object fitting content aware fit. So let's try that. All right. So now the actual is still 150, which again, that can't be changed unless we go to Photoshop and change it. And the effective is 470. It's still way over double the actual. So that's, again, not a good idea. But it's better than the 850 or whatever we had. Select the circular picture frame in the lower left and place the image Calla Lily PSD. So we're going to go ahead and select this and do a Command D and put this image in. So we're going to either select the circular frame or the frame that it's in and say object fitting content aware fit. Much better, but again, these numbers are not matching up. Another way to import a graphic is drop them into a page. So we're going to go edit, deselect all, probably save our file while we're at it. And drag the Starflower file over the empty frame to the right of they want us to arrange our window so we can see the lesson 10 folder. And they want us to be on page 5. I just want to make sure I'm there. All right. So move over here a little bit. And there's our lesson 10 folder. And a deselect all there is necessary. And we're going to drag the Starflower image over here to the pasteboard and let go. Okay, so it comes in. Oh, click. Well, I think we were supposed to put it into this one. There we go. So I just did a Command Z, went back, did it again into this frame. It's smaller than the frame. And we're going to do an object fitting, fit frame to content. This is the only one I actually think you should ever do, because then it's fitting the frame around the actual file size. And if we look at our links panel, we're going to find out that it came in at 300, which is what its actual was. So in Photoshop or an image-based program like Photoshop, it would have been 300, and it placed. So its effective output is exactly 300. And that's really what I want you guys to do all the time. Keep your actual and effective PPI the same. Okay, Adobe Bridge. We'll navigate to page 1. And do a file, browse and bridge. Wait for bridge to open. And it says bridge provides an easy way to navigate through things. And we're going to go to the graphics folder for this file. Okay, and that's where I am. I'm in less than 10. Shows it right there. We're looking for the late Maple Leaf PSD. That's that one. And we're going to rename it Maple Leaf Yellow. And press enter and return. If necessary, make the bridge window smaller by dragging left or right corner so you can see page 1 cover of InDesign, and drag the Maple Leaf PSD file into your InDesign document. So and onto an open area of the pasteboard. So that would be here. Which of course isn't working for me. Oh, there it is. Okay. I had to click on the document itself after I dragged it over. So there it is. So it comes in full size. And use our selection tool to position the leaf graphic in the upper left-hand corner of the page on top of the empty blue dark frame. And we're going to do a shift command and drag a corner of the frame to scale both the frame and its contents. Scale to size. So I'm going to do one of these. So shift command and bring that in. With the yellow leaf maple leaf still selected, bring the bridge window to the front again. And choose the file Maple Leaf Red PSD. Drag and drop it right over the yellow maple leaf. InDesign retains the scaling, and now you switched out the image with the new one. Try it again with Maple Leaf Orange PSD. Select the image with the content grabber and set the reference point to the center position. So Maple Leaf Orange. And then with the content grabber, they're saying we can do these things like rotate, degrees, and scale while replacing it to see how the reference points affect. So when we're talking about the reference points, we're talking about these things here in the options bar. So let's just save our file. And in the links panel, choose window. No, select in the links panel. They say if the links panel is not open, go to window and choose it. But we'll just have it right here. And we're going to go to the blue hydrangea PSD. And click the page number following the name to center it in your window. At the bottom of the links panel, click the Edit Original button. So we're going to go ahead and click this little pencil. So we're back in Photoshop. In Photoshop, make a change to the image, such as applying a filter or making a dynamic change with an adjustment layer. Save the file and return to InDesign. Applying a filter, okay. Let's do, let's go add noise. And save the file. And go back to InDesign. Oh my gosh. Working with clipping and paths. Clipping paths are masks, right? We talked about this before. Nothing more, nothing less. Just it's a mask, and it's a mask that's used uses a path to define the masking area. So navigate to page 4. And do Command 0 or Command Option 0. And in the layers panel, make sure that the photos layer is selected. It is. Then we're going to do a place. So Command D. And the pairs PSD is what we're looking for. And we're going to put that somewhere in this area over here. Oh, we want it outside the blue square. So just place it there. And I say we might need to reposition that image a little. Choose object clipping path options. So object clipping path and options. And choose Photoshop path. So Bezier path has been drawn in Photoshop and saved with this file. So now it's revealing that path. Choose object fitting fit frame to content. So let me do that. Actually, let's see. Oh, I have to say okay to that and then choose object fitting. Fit frame to content. Next frame snap up and switch to the selection tool and double click the pairs image. Then click the lower right hand corner handle and press Shift Command and drag the pairs to scale both frame and content. They say as shown, so pretty small. So something like that. And then it says press Option and drag up to the right. So we're going to create a copy, right? Put it over this side. And then choose Object Clipping Path Options. And then choose Right Pair from our path. And click OK. So there was another path saved with it in Photoshop as a clipping path. Then it was called Right Pair. Then choose Object Fitting Fit Frame to Content. Switch back to the selection tool. Click to select the frame and use the same technique to scale this pair about 80%. So doesn't quite look like a fit frame to content here. I don't know why it would. I guess with that one invisible, that's it. All right, so Command plus Shift gets us both. Yeah, obviously working pretty well. All right. Says you can also type 80 in the X and Y scale if you want to make that work better. Finally, move the pointer outside the bounding box until it changes to a rotation. And go about -28. He's showing it more like maybe something like that. Whatever. And we're going to do Option again. The selection tool. And drag down to the right. Putting our pair somewhere around there. Save our file. Okay, navigate to the leftmost page of the spread, page 2. Select the rectangle frame tool. And draw a frame in the lower area as shown, crossing over the border between page 2 and page 3. It looks like something around here. Yeah, it looks like even into the type a little bit, but we'll wing it. Okay. You can choose fitting options for frame before you place a graphic. Choose object fitting, frame fitting options. So object fitting, frame fitting options. And choose fit content proportionately. And then click the top center reference point. And click OK. And then do Command D or File Place. And double click the Tools PSD. All right. So use cancel. Hit deselect all. So we're just going to click off on our pasteboard. Okay, now we want to scale this without scaling the frame. Switch to the selection tool and click the photo over the circle in the content grabber. So let's go here. In the control or properties panel, set the reference point to the upper center. So let's go here, center top, type 70 in the scale box. And press enter return. Notice that the photo scales downward from the top center. So most of it's hidden right now below it. Drag or use the arrow keys to nudge the position of the photo slightly. So we're going to push it up. Something like this. I don't know. All right. And then in the links panel, we're going to click the link for cover pink flower PSD. And click the go to link. Choose object, object layer options. And move the object layer options dialog box so you can see what you're going to do. Select the preview option to see the changes. Preview is already selected. And in the object layer options dialog box, click the eye icon to the left of the cobblestones layer. This turns off a layer, leaving only the pink flower layer visible. Then click the eye icon to the left of the green texture layer to turn that on. And turn that layer off and turn on the blue sky layer. And then click OK. So apparently that's what we want. And save our file. All right, an anchored image. We're going to, in the Pages panel, double click the second spread and choose View Fit Spread in a window. This is our second spread. View Fit Spread in a window. Okay. Press and hold Z to temporarily access the zoom tool, and click so you can see the logo and the text frame above it. All right, return to the selection tool and click the logo. Yeah, we'll make sure we get just the logo, not the content. Notice the small red solid square. Okay, choose type, show hidden characters. Way down the bottom. Select the type tool and click in front of the word Addy. And press enter or return. And use the selection tool to click the logo again. Oops, I got the content. Let me try to get that. Hold down the shift key and drag the red square near the upper right of the logo to the beginning of the empty second paragraph. So we're going to hold down the shift key and drag this up to there. Okay, so we have it. Well, maybe I didn't do it right. It should have been anchored in there. So all right, then we're going to put our type tool to the right of that. Click the paragraph formatting controls here. Hold down the shift key and click the up arrow button to the right of the space before icon 4 times. So the up arrow, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how it didn't get quite anchored at the right spot, but I must have clicked a little bit too high. All right, see the anchor symbol, and it's working. All right, see how the anchored graphic flows when the text is edited. Click to the right of the period that ends the first paragraph and then press enter and return twice. So just, I guess, FYI, right? See how it's going down, delete, delete. Okay. Take the selection tool once again. Select the graphics frame with the Songs of the Garden. And press Shift Command and drag the upper right handle of the frame to the right until you scale the graphic and its frame cover roughly 20% of the second column. So I'm going to go Shift Command, 20%. And then we're going to do a window text wrap. And we're going to choose first wraparound object shape. And to increase the space around the bounding box, click the up arrow button on the top offset 3 times. Yeah, it's this one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. to 0.1875. Okay. Text can also wrap around the graphic's shape rather than around the rectangular box. In the text wrap panel, under contour options, choose detect edges from the type menu. Okay. Choose edit, deselect all, and choose type, hide hidden characters. In the text wrap panel, experiment with available options for wrap to the menu, keep the largest area, etc. Select the direct selection tool and then click the graphic to view the anchor points used for the text wrap. And examine the paths or many profiles, so basically what we're saying is we can grab a hold of these and change the way we want this to work. I don't like that word by itself. Okay. Close text wrap and save your file. In the layers panel, excuse me, select the graphics layer. And choose edit, deselect all, or click away on the pasteboard. Selection tool. Choose view fit spread and window. And do a file place. Command D and select the Illustrator file, Garland AI. Make sure that show import options is not selected. And click open. Click in the upper left-hand corner of the spread to add the Illustrator file to the image. And save your file. All right, deselect all objects. Click the empty frame to the left of the red box on the far left of the spread. And choose File Place, Command D. And we're looking for Flower Title AI. And click Open. Oh, going to go Command Z. Do that again, Command Z. Let's go Command D, place again. They want us to show the import options at this point. That way we'll have some choices. All right, so now we get the PDF dialog box. And show part options is selected. And in that dialog box, make sure show preview is selected. Yep. In the general tab, choose bounding box. All layers. Yep. From the crop to menu, and make sure that transparent background is selected. And click the layers tab to open up and view the layers. When it has 3 layers, a background image of a flower, a layer of text, and a layer of text in Spanish. Click, although you can designate now which layers you would like to display, the small preview area makes it difficult to see the results. So we could go, oh, what's Spanish look like? Well, it's too small. Then it says, just click OK. And then press Command plus a couple times to zoom in. Okay, yeah. In Control or Properties panel, click the center reference point. And then click the content grabber. And then click the downward open triangle to the right of either the X or Y percentage box and choose 75%. Then probably need to position this thing, right? Press the escape key to select the frame and drag or nudge the arrows to the position of the graphics so the flower is visually centered. Oh, well, that's what we just did. Okay, save our file. Select the type tool. And draw a large text frame just to the left of the flower title graphic, mostly on the pasteboard. So type a capital letter A. And then press the escape key. Using the character control panel or properties panel, choose Myriad Pro. Myriad Pro Bold. And 150 points. And See a plus sign in the lower right-hand corner of the frame. After you change the font size, drag the frame handles to make the text frame large enough. Okay, well, let's, in other words, overset text. Doesn't have it currently. That would be like that, where you see the plus sign. All right, pull it back out. And what are we going to do? Drag the frame handles to make sure it's large enough, and then choose type, create outlines. So we're going to go type, create outlines. We're going to show our Bezier curves. Set the fill color to none. And then choose file, place. So obviously we're getting ready to put something inside of this clipping path. We're looking for the blue hydrangea. Okay. Hover your pointer over the letter frame and click the content grabber. Set the scale to 200%. It's pretty funky because I had that effect on it. Then click the flip horizontal button. Okay, if that makes you feel good, click the content grabber again and drag the image to position it within the letter as you wish. Okay, so if you want to change anything about it, you certainly can move it around. Move your pointer away from the content grabber and drag the frame to the right. Above the letter flower, title graphic. So we're going to take this thing and put it over here somewhere. Okay, choose edit, deselect all. We're almost done. Anyhow, move to the left of the letter graphic you just created in the previous exercise. Choose view fit page and window to see the entire page. So we're going to do view fit page and window, command 0, and choose file open. Just going to make sure I don't have anything deselected. Select the lesson 10 elements INDD. And then click open. So we've got a library here. And in lesson 10's elements library panel, select the show subset. And we're going to do type flower in our parameters. And click OK. Searches only for things that are named flower, and in the layers panel, make sure the graphics layer is selected. It is. Of the 3 objects visible in the lesson 10 elements library panel, drag the blue flower AI anywhere on the page. Files added to the page, open up the links panel, and notice that the file name appears in the links panel. That's amazing. Using the selection tool, position the blue flower AI image so that it's on top of the light blue background frame on the far left of the page. Okay, choose File, Save. And then choose File, New Library. You can just say no here and type CD Projects as the name of the library. Navigate to your 10 folder. And click Save. And go to page 6. Using the selection tool, drag the Ricky Records logo onto the library just created. So we're going to actually grab this logo and put it into here. In the CD Projects library, double click the Ricky Records logo icon and type Ricky Records. Borrow logo, but I'm okay with that. And then click OK. I guess we'll change the name. Okay. Take the selection tool and drag the address text frame from the CD Projects library. Okay, address, drop, and then double click and call that. Ricky Records address. Okay. Close libraries by clicking close button at the top of the library panel. And that's it. Well, I don't really understand the whole thing, but the library itself could be used like somewhere else. If we went to another page, let's say, and we wanted to put the logo out there, we could do that by dragging it out of the library. So that's what a library is all about. It's about reusing objects. Instead of, we just saved objects to the library, but we didn't really understand why. That's so you can use them in other documents as well as other places in the same document. So then save your file and compress it and put it up on canvas. End of lesson 10. Peace out.